Hello, everyone, and welcome to the thru Recovery Life podcast. My name is John A., and I am an alcoholic in West Palm Beach, Florida. My sobriety date is September 13th of 1982. Let's have a moment of silence to reflect on what we're about to do here today, followed by the serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And we'll start off with a quote by Albert Einstein. If you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough. We call ourselves the Zoo Crew because although we are deadly serious about sobriety, we want to show others, mainly newcomers, that sobriety is not boring at all. You can visit our website at thezooCrew.org, thezooCrew.org. Please feel free to like this video and subscribe to our channel so you can be notified when we upload new videos. Feel free to comment and share this video with others in recovery or looking to get sober. And if there are any topics you'd like us to cover in future podcasts, please send us an email. That information will be in the description. You could be doing anything else right now, but instead you're listening to our podcast. And we are happy to have you here making this investment in your sobriety. You're making a huge deposit into your IRA, your individual recovery account, by showing a commitment to your sobriety. Keep making these deposits no matter how small, because one day you may have a situation that will require you to make a huge withdrawal, and you don't want your IRA to be depleted. And the reason we have these podcasts is to work on the underlying issues behind alcoholism. If alcohol was the problem, most of us would be cured by now. Alcohol was but a symptom. Sobriety, however, is not just about stopping drinking. Sobriety is changing our behavior, our actions, and our mindset so that we can be happy, joyous, and free from the obsession of alcohol. You'll notice that we have some larger podcasts that go much deeper into various subjects. We will also have some podcasts that will last 10 to 15 minutes where we will share our experience, strength, and hope on various topics of discussion heard in AA meetings. In this episode of the Zoo Crew Recovery Life podcast, we're going to discuss the AA sponsor, what to look for, and how to get one. All right, so how soon should you get a sponsor in AA? Get a sponsor as soon as possible. You can get a sponsor your very first day in Alcoholics Anonymous, but if you prefer to attend a few meetings and get to listen to people before making a decision, you can do that as well. What is a sponsor? A sponsor is a guide, a mentor, or a friend who takes you through the 12 steps and helps you in sobriety. If you went to a foreign country on vacation, you'd probably get a guide to help you get around with less difficulty. Sobriety is new terrain for those just coming into AA, so why not get a guide or a sponsor? And what is a sponsor's job? I've heard people say that a sponsor's quote-unquote job is nothing more than to help a person through the 12 steps. I don't find that to be the case. I think a sponsor should guide a sponsee in any area that's needed in early recovery, and not just take them through the 12 steps and then dump them. But a sponsor is not a bank, but definitely to give guidance, not just on sobriety, but on relationships, and anything else. Because, again, this is new terrain. I had someone ask me, as a potential sponsee, he asked me how much does he have to pay me, or something to that effect. And I used some choice words with him and asked him why the hell he asked me something like that. So how much should you pay a sponsor? Not a damn thing. You don't pay a sponsor to sponsor you. And if a sponsor thinks that he or she can ask you for remuneration or to be paid to be your sponsor, run, get another sponsor. Should you get a sponsor of the same or opposite sex? Nothing is written in stone. Men sponsor women and vice versa. and then gay and lesbian men and women sponsor straight men and women, as well as gay men and women. So nothing is set in stone. It's suggested that men sponsor men, women sponsor women. But again, nothing is set in stone. How many months or years of sobriety should your sponsor have? That's, I know when I had 19 years of sobriety, I was going through a divorce, and I knew I needed help. And I'm thinking I should get somebody with at least 25 years of sobriety. But I was only 40 years old at the time. I ended up getting someone with 14 years of sobriety to my 19. But he was much older and wiser, and really helped me in getting through to the other side while going through my divorce. So nothing is set in stone. Just make sure that they're sober. How many other sponsees should your sponsor have? Just make sure they have enough time for you. Ask them how many sponsees they have, and they'll most likely tell you. But just make sure that they have enough time for you. How long should your sponsor be sober? Again, nothing is set in stone. If you have 2 months and you get a sponsor with 6 months, but they've gone through the steps, that's fine. Dr. Bob only had a few weeks when they went to see AA number 3, Bill Dotson at the hospital. So, again, nothing is set in stone, but just make sure that they are sober. Should you and your sponsor have the same beliefs? Not necessarily. Not at all. Just find someone who has what you want. And what you're going to do is you're going to listen to what they say in the meetings, but more importantly, listen to what they say before and after the meetings. Do they appear to be happy, joyous, and free? Do they character assassinate others? Are they encouraging to others, or are they negative? So go to breakfast, go to lunch, go to evening for coffee or whatever after the evening meeting as well, and see how they interact with others. See how they interact with the servers. That will give you some telltale signs. And make sure your potential sponsor actually wants to be a sponsor. Not everybody wants to be a sponsor. And consider how you will approach your potential sponsor. The best thing to do is just be direct. This is usually done after a meeting by simply asking someone, will you be my sponsor? The direct approach can be scary to some people. If the thought of approaching someone in person frightens you, use the group phone list and text or call a potential sponsor instead. If they're willing to be a sponsor, most of the time their answer will be yes. And you can also get a temporary sponsor. You can ask them to be a temporary sponsor. And a temporary sponsor can be a few months or a few decades. Many people have had the same sponsor for decades. Can you have more than one sponsor? In early sobriety, I suggest that you have just the one AA sponsor. After some time in the program, you can get a financial sponsor, a spiritual sponsor, a service sponsor. You can get sponsors outside of Alcoholics Anonymous as well. But this is after some time in recovery, after you've gone through the steps. And you are responsible for your sobriety. You may have to ask more than one person before you can get a sponsor, but please do it. Ask. Most newcomers will feel very uncomfortable asking someone to sponsor them, but do it anyway. Have the fear, but do it anyway. And getting a sponsor is not a lifetime commitment. You may outgrow your sponsor and need to get another one. Just get another one. If your sponsor relapses, it doesn't automatically mean you should go out and get a new sponsor. That's something you can talk about. And sometimes in AA we say the sponsee can become the sponsor. That has happened. And after you get a sponsor, see if they gossip or tell you things about other sponsees. Is your sponsor even-tempered or irrational? Do they make unrealistic demands of you? Do you like the person who is sponsoring you? Are they available? Do they answer their phone, or do you always have to leave a message? Do they reply after you text them? Do they call you back after you leave a message? Does your sponsor expect you to have the same religious or political views as they do? Does your sponsor switch the conversation to themselves and their problems when you call them about something you're going through or something you need to talk to them about? If you feel the sponsor is taking too much time in going through the 12 steps with you, think about getting a new sponsor who has more of a sense of urgency. And finally, if you've been sober a few years and already took the steps, you do not need to go through them again with a new sponsor. And if the person you're considering asking to be a sponsor insists on you doing them again with them, you can look for another sponsor, or unless you want to do the steps again. And your sponsor will not always be available when you need them. It's best to get several phone numbers of people who can be your support group, your sober support. Have a group of friends that you can reach out to when your sponsor is not available. We suggest that you get out of your comfort zone. Get out of your comfort zone until it becomes comfortable. And this ends our podcast. But before parting, I'd like you to get to know hope so that you can get to know recovery. Because if you have no hope, there may be no recovery. Be a hope dealer. Let's take a moment to reflect on what we did here, followed by the serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Thank you, everyone, for listening to the thru Recovery Life podcast on the AA sponsor, what to look for and how to get one. My name is John A., and I am an alcoholic in West Palm Beach, Florida. My sobriety date is September 13th of 1982. You can visit our website at thezooCrew.org, thezooCrew.org. Please feel free to like this video and subscribe to our channel so you can be notified when we upload new videos. Feel free to comment and share this video with others in recovery or looking to get sober. Drop us a line if there are any topics you'd like to have us cover in future podcasts. Thank you. Have a great day, everybody. And remember, you never need to have a bad day, just bad moments. Make it a great day.